I yield!
You're torn!
What was that?
Someone there?
This what you want, huh?
Expecting that word.
Sovngarde awaits you.
Get off while you still can!
Stabbed in the back. Can't talk long. Gotta keep my eyes open for Mercer. Well, well. I was looking for this little beauty. If you happen across any other unusual trinkets like this, be sure to bring them to me. I promise it'll be worth the effort. Must have come from Mercer's place. He'd admired the grey fox for some time. Sure, I'll buy it from you. Here you are. This is getting dangerous. Don't let anything get a jump on you.
We've scoured the town and I've spoken to every contact we have left. No sign of Mercer. Any luck on your end? Shore's beard. He's going after the eyes of the Falmer? That was Gallus's pet project. If he gets his hands on them, you can be certain he'll be gone for good and set up for life. Agreed. He's taken everything the guild has left. And to go after one of the last greatest heists is just an insult. I've spoken to Carlia and made amends for how the guilds treated her. Now she wishes to speak with both of us. Quickly, we have no time to lose. Until next we meet, lass.
I have everything you asked for all ready to go.
I hope this deal goes through.
Not now, lass. Carlia said it was important.
The last two you set up fell through.
I don't understand either. They were a sure thing, I swear.
Just better hope this one isn't another waste of my coin.
Not now, lass. Carlia said it was
I
important.
promise you, all your questions will be answered. You just have to trust me. Brynjolf, the time has come to decide Mercer's fate. Until a new guildmaster is chosen, the decision falls to you.
Aye, lass. And I've come to a decision. Mercer Frey tried to kill both of you. He betrayed the guild, murdered Gallus, and made us question our future. He needs to die.
We have to be very careful, Brynjolf. Mercer is a nightingale, an agent of Nocturnal.
And it's all true. Everything I heard in the stories. The Nightingales, their allegiance to Nocturnal, and the Twilight Sepulchre.
Yes. That's why we need to prepare ourselves and meet Mercer on equal footing.
Friend, you were abandoned.
Just outside of Riften, beyond the southeast gate is a small path cut up the mountainside. At the end of that path is a clearing and an old standing stone. I'd ask you both to meet me there.
You're an idiot. I have some preparations of my own to make. I'll meet you at the stone.
I'm glad you're here. This is the headquarters of the Nightingales, cut into the mountainside by the first of our kind. We've come to seek the edge we need to defeat Mercer Frey. If you'll follow me, I'll try to explain on the way. Gallus, Mercer Frey and I were once members of what's known as the Nightingale Trinity. The Trinity disbanded 25 years ago when Mercer Frey betrayed us by slaying Gallus and dumping his body in the ruins of Snowvale Sanctum. Indirectly, the Trinity is usually selected from the ranks of the Guild, although its existence is a closely guarded secret. The Nightingales protect the Temple of Nocturnal, a place known as the Twilight Sepulchre. She's the mistress of night and darkness, and the patron of every thief in Tamriel. Nocturnal isn't one for worship and reverence. There are no priests and no sermons, no services, and no alms. She influences our luck, and in return, demands payment. You're closer to understanding than you realize. The only difference is she doesn't demand payment in the traditional sense, and sometimes the cost can be quite high. Whether you know it or not, Nocturnal dictates how well we perform as rogues. Again, you have to think differently. Haven't you ever noticed how our luck behaves? Like a novice picking an impossible lock, or a blind man suddenly turning to face you as you reach for his pocket. It's through these subtle means that Nocturnal influences us. Nocturnal's whim is the greatest mystery to everyone. There have been volumes written on the subject. Does she exact payment when we die? When we suffer? Does she revel in our misery? No one knows. The return certainly seems worth the risk, though. She's the mistress of night and darkness, and the patron of every thief in Tamriel. He's just ahead. Please, keep following. He's just ahead. Please, keep following.
So this is Nightingale Hall. I heard about this place when I joined the guild, but I never believed it existed.
The assumption that the Nightingales were just a myth was seeded within the guild on purpose. It helped divert attention from our true nature. What's wrong, Brynjolf? I can almost hear your brow furrowing.
I'm trying to understand why I'm here, lass. I'm no priest, and I'm certainly not religious. Why pick me?
This isn't about religion, Brynjolf. It's business. This is Nightingale Hall. You're the first of the uninitiated to set foot inside in over a century. Now, if you'll both proceed to the armory to don your Nightingale armor, we can begin the oath. You appear hesitant to don your Nightingale armor. What's troubling you?
Time's wasting, and Mercer's still out there. Let's get this show on the road.
You appear hesitant to don your Nightingale armor. What's troubling you?
Time's wasting, and Mercer's still out there. Let's get this show on the road.
You appear ready for the oath.
I think we should trust... Okay, lass. We've got these get-ups on. Now what?
Beyond this gate is the first step in becoming a nightingale.
Whoa there, lass. I appreciate the armor, but becoming a nightingale? That was never discussed.
To hold any hope of defeating Mercer, we must have Nocturnal at our backs. If she's to accept you as one of her own, an arrangement must be struck.
What sort of arrangement? I need to know the terms.
The terms are quite simple, Brynjolf. Nocturnal will allow you to become a nightingale and use your abilities for whatever you wish. And in return, both in life and in death, you must serve as a guardian of the Twilight Sepulchre.
Aye, there's always a catch. But at this point, I suppose there isn't much to lose. If it means the end of Mercer Frey, you can count me in.
What about you? Are you ready to transact the oath with Nocturnal? Good. After I open the gate, please stand on the western circle.
Okay, lass. We've got these get-ups on. Now what?
Beyond this gate is the first step in becoming a nightingale.
Whoa there, lass. I appreciate the armor, but becoming a nightingale? That was never discussed.
The terms are quite simple, Brynjolf. Nocturnal will allow you to become a nightingale and use your abilities.
Aye, there's always a catch. But at this point, I suppose there isn't much to lose. If it means the end of Mercer Frey, you can count me in. So this is Nightingale Hall. I heard about this place when I joined the guild, but I never believed it existed.
The assumption that the Nightingales were just a myth was seeded within the guild on purpose. It helped divert attention from our true nature. What's wrong, Brynjolf? I can almost hear your brow furrowing.
I'm trying to understand why I'm here, lass. I'm no priest, and I'm certainly not religious. Why pick me?
This isn't about religion, Brynjolf. It's business. This is Nightingale Hall. You're the first of the uninitiated to set foot inside in over a century. Now, if you'll both proceed to the armory to don your Nightingale armor, we can begin the oath.
I think we should trust us and take the deal.
appear hesitant to don your nightingale. What's troubling you? You appear ready for the oath.
Okay, lass. We've got these get-ups on. Now what?
Beyond this gate is the first step in becoming a nightingale.
Whoa there, lass. I appreciate the armor, but becoming a nightingale? That was never discussed.
To hold any hope of defeating Mercer, we must have Nocturnal at our backs. If she's to accept you as one of her own, an arrangement must be struck.
What sort of arrangement? I need to know the terms.
The terms are quite simple, Brynjolf. Nocturnal will allow you to become a nightingale and use your abilities for whatever you wish. And in return, both in life and in death, you must serve as a guardian of the Twilight Sepulchre.
Aye, there's always a catch. But at this point, I suppose there isn't much to lose. If it means the end of Mercer Frey, you can count me in.
What about you? Are you ready to transact the oath with Nocturnal? By transacting the oath with Nocturnal, you're entering into a business deal. You'll be provided all of the power and knowledge befitting a nightingale. You're free to use those powers as you see fit, to further your own goals, or the goals of the Thieves' Guild. In return, you'll be required to defend the Twilight Sepulchre and everything within when the need arises. More importantly, upon your death, your spirit will be bound to the Twilight Sepulchre as one of its guardians. Once the oath has been struck, the terms are binding. Knowing this, are you ready to undergo the ceremony? Good. After I open the gate, please stand on the western circle.
Okay, lass. We've got these get-ups on. Now what?
Beyond this gate is the first step in becoming a nightingale. You'll speak when the oath is complete.
Of becoming a nightingale?
To hold any hope of defeating Mercer, we must have Nocturnal at our backs. If she's to accept you as one of her own, an arrangement must be struck. The terms are quite simple, Brynjolf. Nocturnal will allow you to become a knight. You appear ready for the oath.
Okay, lass. We've got these get-ups on. Now what?
Beyond this gate is the first step in becoming a nightingale.
Whoa there, lass. I appreciate the armor, but becoming a nightingale? That was never discussed.
To hold any hope of defeating Mercer, we must have Nocturnal at our backs. If she's to accept you as one of her own, an arrangement must be struck.
What sort of arrangement? I need to know the terms.
The terms are quite simple, Brynjolf. Nocturnal will allow you to become a nightingale and use your abilities for whatever you wish. And in return, both in life and in death, you must serve as a guardian of the Twilight Sepulchre.
Aye,
There's always a catch. But at this point, I suppose there isn't much to lose. If it means the end of Mercer Frey, you can count me in.
What about you? Are you ready to transact the oath with Nocturnal? Good. After I open the gate, please stand on the western circle.
I think we should trust the lass and take the deal.
I call upon you, Lady Nocturnal, Queen of Murk, and Empress of Shadow. Hear my voice.
Ah, Carlia. I was wondering when I'd hear from you again. Lose something, did we?
My lady, I've come before you to throw myself upon your mercy and to accept responsibility for my failure.
You're already mine, Carlia. Your terms were struck long ago. What could you possibly offer me now?
I have two others that wish to transact the oath, to serve you both in life and in death.
You surprise me, Carlia. This offer is definitely weighted in my favor.
My appetite for Mercer's demise exceeds my craving for wealth, Your Grace.
Revenge. How interesting. Very well. The conditions are acceptable. You may proceed.
Lady Nocturnal, we accept your terms. We dedicate ourselves to you as both your avengers and your sentinels. We will honor our agreement in this life and the next until your conditions have been met.
Very well. I name your initiates Nightingale, and I restore your status to the same, Carlisle. And in the future, I'd suggest you refrain from disappointing me again.
Now that you've transacted the oath, it's time to reveal the final piece of the puzzle to you. Mercer's true crime. Mercer was able to unlock the Guild's vault without 2 keys because of what he stole from the Twilight Sepulchre, the skeleton key. By doing this, he's compromised our ties to Nocturnal and, in essence, caused our luck to run dry. Well, yes, but the key isn't only restricted to physical barriers. All of us possess untapped abilities, the potential to wield great power securely sealed within our minds. Once you realize the key can access these traits, potential becomes limitless. Good. Then you understand why this is about more than just Mercer's lust for power. If the key isn't returned to its lock in the Twilight Sepulchre, things will never be the same for the Guild. As time passed, our luck would diminish to the point of non-existence, and whether you know it or not, our uncanny luck defines our trade. Very true. In our line of work, it's quite rare we set out to return a stolen item to its rightful owner. Before we depart, Brynjolf has some business to discuss. I suggest you listen to him.
Listen, lass. There's one last piece of business we need to settle before we go after Mercer. The leadership of the guild. Carlia and I had a long discussion before you arrived here. Thanks to your efforts, Mercer's treachery has been exposed. After we deal with him, all that remains is restoring the guild to its full strength. As a result, we both feel that you have the potential of replacing Mercer as leader of the Thieves' Guild.
I've been at this game a long time, my friend. A long time. I've stolen trinkets from nobles and framed priests for murder. I'm good at what I do, maybe even one of the best, but it's all I know. I've never been one to lead, never desired it, never cared for it, don't want it. Well, we have a bit of an errand to run before your coronation, so don't get sentimental on me now.
Then it's decided. When this is all over and Delvin's contacts assure me that we've regained our footing in Skyrim, we'll handle the details. Until then, we have quite the task ahead. I've been poring over the plans you brought us, and I'm convinced the eyes of the Falmer are in the Dwarven ruins at Erkenthand. Carlia and I will meet you there. Prepare yourself, lass. This will be a fight to remember.
If you would have asked me that yesterday, I'd have said no. But now I think our chances have improved. Look, call me crazy if you like, but I trust Carlia. I don't think she'd lead us down a suicidal path. Besides, I'd rather die with some of Mercer's blood on my blade than spend the rest of my life regretting that I ran the other way. Aye, and some of what Carlia said is starting to make sense. Mercer may have damaged our reputation and raided our coffers. This goes well beyond even his twisted form of larceny. Old Delvin kept calling it a curse, and we all laughed at him. Looks like the joke's on us. Sorry, lass. I've got important things to do. We'll speak another time.
Yes. Now that you're a Nightingale, you may consider this your home. You'll find that this place offers many things that will help you in your endeavors, as well as a wealth of information for you to learn. Once the skeleton key has been restored to the Twilight Sepulchre, I'll make this place my home as well. With the skeleton key missing from the Twilight Sepulchre, I'm afraid Mercer's seen to it that none of us can benefit from Nocturnal's gifts. You merely transacted the oath, signed the unwritten contract with Nocturnal. In order for us to receive our abilities, our end of the bargain, I'm afraid the key must be returned. If Nocturnal was truly displeased with me, with any of us, she wouldn't have answered my call. I have no doubt that we still hold her favor, and I believe it gives us enough of an edge to defeat Mercer Frey.
Sorry, lass. I've got important things to do. We'll speak another time.
Good to see you. Finally, someone useful is around.
Something troubling you? I'll listen. This kind of work suits you, and it's going to end up making you rich. All right? Anything in particular strike your fancy? These marks keep their ledgers all neat and tidy, but they're right. Here's everything you need. You get caught, and we've never heard of you.
Even if you're one of us, you better not make trouble.
Good news.
Back with good news, I trust? I suppose you want your share now.
You did?
Here you go.
Thanks. I'll get you the rest of your coin by tomorrow.
Yeah, funny about that. Price was 100 higher
Got
than
plenty.
I expected.
Take your pick.
Vekel, you have no shame. I'll get you the rest like I said. I want that hammer.
You can give this house a once-over. I hear they're fairly well off and probably have lots of good stuff ripe for the picking. Sound good? All right. Take this and get out of here. Back with good news, I trust?
Welcome to the cozy little fam. I've got coin and I've got merchandise. Let's see what we can do.
So, has my bow turned up yet? That's it. You found it. I don't know how you got it back, and I don't want to know. Frankly, I don't even care. I'm just so glad to see it again. Here, this is all I can afford to give you as compensation. Hope it's enough. Dragons, thieves, and war. I should have stayed in Morrowind.
They say Ulfric Stormcloak murdered the High King with his voice.
Azura's wisdom to you, friend.
We could always use help picking crops if you need a few extra coins.
Honor to you, my Thane.
What's the hurry?
Ulfric, patron of the great clan Battleborn. A name I'm sure you know well.
Hands to yourself. What do you need, my friend?
You're the one cast those illusions.
What's the hurry?
Impressive.
only reason I'm... What? You did? Oh, sweet divines, you did. There is no way I can pay you what this loot is worth, but I can teach you a few tricks I've learned over the years. Glad that distraction's over. Well, look at you. If only everyone acted like you do.
That damn fool! I should wring her neck. Lorena. That fool student of mine stole my flute and sold it to some necromancer. I just got a ransom note for it. That flute has been handed down for 17 generations. Well, don't just stand there. Go get my flute! Apparently, Lorena told him some story about the flute being able to make the dead dance. It's just a flute. A really old and valuable flute, but just a flute. Now you can say you've met the most talented bard in all of Skyrim.
You and me, we're the only people around who aren't complete fools. Welcome to Solitude, home of the arts here in Skyrim.
Pardon me.
Few can resist my charms. Even fewer are worthy. I can't understand why Yorn would want to join the Imperial
I'm sure it will
Legion.
be fine.
Soldiers
Just don't
only
be late.
appreciate one thing, and it isn't music.
Remember, it's your job to deliver
Riding
these
some
souls.
white run to
Excite the crowd. Draw them in.
Youngest bard at the Bard's College, at your service.
May the gods watch. I wish only to graduate and enroll with the Legion. My drums will lead our troops to victory. The courier must have found you. Yes, old friend. I'm afraid it's not good news. When you broke up the binding, Potema escaped. We've encountered some of her minions. Steer says she's still in spirit form, or we'd all be dead already. You've already done us a service in stopping the binding, but I need you to go talk to him, to see if Steer can tell us what to do next. He's Solitude's priest of Archay. He's the one who figured out Potema was still around. He'll help as much as he can. I'm not really sure. Steer thinks you have some sort of link to Potema. I trust his judgment on this. As a priest of Archay, he's had to deal with necromancy before. Nothing as dangerous as Potema, though. I wish you well, friend. Be careful.
Can I help you? You must be the one Falk spoke so highly of. Welcome. Ah, Potema, former Queen of Solitude and one of the most dangerous necromancers in recorded history. She was responsible for the Empire's near collapse almost 500 years ago. I believe I have a book about her. Summoned in spirit form is not raised from the dead. She'll need help before she can return to the living. For the moment, the Wolf Queen has retreated to a place filled with dead, eager to serve her. She has gone to her old catacombs. A few days ago, one of her servants busted through a wall into the Temple of Divines. We'll need you to go into the catacombs themselves. Good. Being at the summoning created a connection to Potema. You are the one to do this. I can provide you with some help with her minions. As to Potema herself, find what's left of her body, likely a skeleton. Remove it from the catacombs and bring it back to be sanctified by Arche. A curious figure. Unrepentantly evil and nasty, of course, but also astonishingly brilliant, and obviously quite a necromancer at her end. She was always so close to being Empress, but despite her machinations, it was never to be hers. Ironically, if she were alive today, she'd be the only living member of the Septim bloodline. By all rights, she would now be Empress. May Arche bless you with a long life.
Blessings of the Eight Divines upon you. You look troubled. Have you come seeking guidance? Let us walk in the steps of the Divines.
May knowledge of your divinity carry us through our daily trials. Remind us of our deeds.
The strong and honorable always carry the blessing of the Eight.
A word, my love.
What troubles you, darling?
I fear attendance is down. There are so few worshippers coming to see us. Could it be that the war has weakened their faith?
Nonsense, dear. I've had more visitors than ever seeking the wisdom of the Hearth Goddesses.
Ah, that must be it. So many of the men are serving in battle.